If you go to the third world country, if you've been on a mission and you come back, you see that what we think in America as needs or not enough or even enough is way beyond enough. You got 2 pairs of shoes, you got more than most people have had in history. You got 2 coats, 2 jackets, you have more than most people in the Bible. You've got 2 television sets, that's extra. You got a CD player, an iPhone, an iPad, all beyond. We've got more than any king had in past days. They couldn't listen to any music they wanted to. And they couldn't change the weather in their house to make it cool today. You know, if this is another day, another age, not so long ago, I mean, in the realm of church history, there'd be no air conditioning. We can listen to any music. We can listen to an orchestra from any nation. We can do anything. The Lord's Prayer says, give us this day our daily bread. Give us this day. It didn't say, give us this day our weekly bread. Most of us go shopping weekly. I often go shopping weekly when I go. But it says daily. So if you have bread for the week, you already have more than he said. It says, but you give thanks for your daily bread. Give us daily bread. You got bread. You don't have to wonder every day you're going to get bread. So if you have more bread than for the day, you got extra. You've got more than enough. Give us this daily bread. Now we're supposed to pray that in some way. It's not just the words, it's the Spirit. Yet most of us most likely have bread, and we're to pray, give us bread. But it says that what it's saying is that you can't even take what you have for granted. Everything's a gift. Everything is extra. Everything's a blessing from God. There's a law in Leviticus 23 called the law of the katsir, which is the harvest. When you reap the harvest, it says, of your land, don't reap to the very edges of your field. And don't gather all the gleanings, what falls down of your harvest. Leave them for the poor and for the foreigner who is dwelling among you. I am the Lord your God. What's that say? What it's saying, a principle is that you are not in your life just to have enough. You're to have not just for yourself. A child of God is not supposed to just look for their own needs. They're supposed to have more than enough to overflow to other people. That means you have to be a person who's giving means you have to already be living in this realm of more than enough. Even if you don't think you have enough, your spirit has to have more than enough. That I have enough that I can give even when I don't think I have. But to always have, it says, as Paul said, other translations of that prayer are that he has lavished abundantly, exceedingly upon you. To live a life where you always have, you're not just trying to get, you have the corners of your life are extra. You have a spirit of more than enough, and God blesses that. The Lord is called, Jesus, Messiah, is called the Prince of Life. Now, you've seen that in the book of Acts. He's called a very special name, Prince of Life. Well, in Hebrew, you can't really say it like that. But he is called Sar Hechayim, which means the Prince of Lives. Not life, singular, but lives, plural. Because in Hebrew, that's how you have to say it. Messiah is not just the Prince. He's the Prince that there's always more to life in him. He said, I came that you might have life and more abundantly. Not just life, more abundantly. That you're not to live by necessities. Messiah, he commanded us. He instructed us saying, don't live just living for food and clothing and shelter. Don't live in a spirit of need. Because your Father knows you have it. You need it. And he will provide. And if you live that way, what you're saying is, what child has to live always wondering about food, shelter, and clothing? What child? A child that doesn't have a parent that loves that child. So if you're living your life, I need this, I have to get this, I have to get this, and I'm worried about it all the time. You're living as if you are an orphan, not that you're a child of the Father who loves you. So he's saying, don't live like that's a sign of that. Rather, a child who's beloved is going to live in a spirit of, I'm okay, I have enough. And actually, my parents blessed me with more than enough. That's how you're to be a beloved child. So you have to live like it. It brings actually healing to you emotionally by living like that. When you have peace. See, when you put your treasure, when all these things of your life are based on necessity, I need this from this world, then your peace is always going to be subject to what's going on up and down in the world. And the enemy knows it. So he'll use those things to threaten all the things you think you have in the world. It says, don't store up your treasures on earth where thieves break in, where moths break in, but store up your treasures in heaven where nobody can touch it. Because if you're living, this is my life, I have to have this in the world, from the world, the enemy's always going to be doing things to threaten your peace, threaten everything of this world. But he can't threaten something you have in heaven and something you're blessed by, because it's from God. And also knowing that even the things you have in the world, if they're from God, it's God who gave it, and that's it. You can have peace about that.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page, or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Hope of the World is dedicated to the goal of spreading God's Word and salvation to every land and people. We do this by spreading the Word throughout the world and sponsoring compassion projects to the most poor and needy around the earth. To get in touch or have a part in God's work, just write to Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Or go to hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821.